Hello friends, my name's Papa Squat. Out of drag, I'm K Will, and I wanted to talk to you today so we could get to know each other a little bit better since I just started this YouTube channel and everything like that about my coming out story. Or not Papa Squat's coming out story, but K Will's, like my actual being. I'm sorry, those are my parakeets. They're lovely little birds. Can you see their cage? No, you can't. I'm not going to walk over and see them, but I'll introduce you to my parakeets later. Miss Vanjie! Vanjie, Mama's still here. Hold on, she's upset about something. Vanjie! You okay? Alright, so sorry. Oh my god. Vanjie. Ah. Do you want Mama to turn on music videos for you? Will that make you feel better? Yeah, Mama's gonna turn on the TV for you. Is that better? Okay, sorry. My bird was having a meltdown. So, anyway, I'm going to tell you about my coming out story as long as that noise is better than the screeching, so, I think she's okay. But, oh, there goes the screeching again. Anyway, I am going to tell you all about the process of Kay Will discovering that she was a lesbian. So basically, I've always known I was like a little bit different than other kids, but I didn't really know how. So that was, so like in preschool, there was like, I went to like a Catholic church preschool, so they had like a girl side of the room and a boy side of the room, and you were supposed to like play with the toys that like corresponded to your gender, because like this was 2003 and yeah, a little bit fucked up. But I would always be like playing on the boys' side, and I would like often get in trouble for it because they'd be like, "Caitlin, why don't you want to play with the girls?" And I'd be like, "I like this dump truck," and then just like, I don't know. And in preschool, we were playing wedding, like a few kids and I kissed a girl right on the lips, and I got in trouble. I got put in timeout for not keeping my hands to myself. So, I've always had, like, gay tendencies, starting as early as age, how old was I, 4? But I didn't actually, like, start to, like, realize that I, might be gay until I was about 10 years old. One day I was walking down the hall to my English class, and I saw this girl walking the other direction, and she, like, I guess I had like seen her before in the halls and stuff like that, but I was like looking at her eyes, and she had like these big brown eyes and long eyelashes and stuff, and I was just like, she's so pretty. And at the time I was like, think I want to be her best friend, and I don't know, like I couldn't explain it, but like my heart felt like super fluttery and like light and stuff like that. So I came home from school that day, and I told my mom about that. And I was like, I don't know, like, what's going on? Like, I've never, like, felt this before. And she's like, oh, well, she might be a good friend for you. Maybe you should talk to her. And I was like, oh my god, I can't talk to her. It's just... So, I didn't know it at the time, but that was my first crush I had on a person. And, when I was 10, I did know that my cousin was a lesbian and my uncle was gay. But I didn't really understand like how you found out you were gay, or like how to tell if you were gay. I actually thought that like it was something that a doctor told you or something like that. Like you went to a psychiatrist or something, and they would like interview you and then tell you if you're gay or not. I didn't know that it was just like something that like you're born with, and that it's there and you just discover it on your own. So I started doing research about like how to like tell if you're gay and stuff like that, and I was like reading all these like blogs and stuff online, and everyone's just like nobody mentioned a psychiatrist or like a test or like anything like that. So then I was like, huh, I wonder if I'm actually gay. And this is probably like this is like the window of time between when I was 10 and when I was 12. Um, and then when I was 12, I like came to the conclusion like, okay, yeah, I'm probably gay. So, I'm trying to remember if I was 12 or when I was 13 when I came out to my parents, but I think I was 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. It would have been 12. So for April Fool's Day, I made a plan to come out to my parents on April Fool's Day, so that if they reacted like really poorly and like threatened to kick me out of the house or something, I could be like April Fools. So that's some pretty smart thinking for a 12-year-old, I think. But I made these cards for them and put them in envelopes, and the cards were like just like these handwritten like notes like explaining like I think that I'm a lesbian. I have known this for like a short period of time, but I've always felt this way. Please accept me. I love you. And that was basically it. So I put these cards in envelopes, and my mom was going to a baseball game with her work, and my dad was going to, he just came home from work when I did this, so he was going to drop me off at my violin lesson, and I wanted them to open the cards when they weren't near me so that I wouldn't be there for their initial like shock and everything. So what I did was, before my mom left the house to go to her work function, I gave her the card and said, don't open this until you're in the parking lot at the Pirates game. And with my dad, he dropped me off at my violin lesson, and as I was getting out of the car, I pulled the note out of my violin case and handed it to him. And I said, don't open this until you get home, and we can talk about it later. So that's what they did. I went to my violin lesson, and my dad picked me up, and as soon as I got in the car, he said nothing for like 10 seconds or so, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm going to be kicked out of the house. And then I was getting ready to just say April Fools, and then he was like, Kay, you know I'll always love you, and this is a surprise for me, but I don't care who you love. I think that you're a wonderful child, and I fully support you. And I was like, oh my god, that's so nice. Because I expected my dad to like react poorly to it and my mom to react better to it. But it was actually the opposite. And when my mom came home later, it was late. It was like 9 at night. She said that she like left the Pirates game early because she was like so upset. And she just like walked in the door with like this blank expression on her face, and she was holding the card, and she looked at me, and then she goes, April Fools, right? And I was like, I just didn't say anything. And then she like walked further into the kitchen and like opened up the card and was like showing me it. And then she's like, I wanted you to get married. I wanted grandchildren. I just want the best for you. And then I sprinted to my room, locked the door, and cried in there for like an hour. And my mom didn't follow me or anything like that, but then originally. But after I was like in my room like crying for an hour, my mom finally came up to my room and knocked on the door, and I was like, I just pretended that I wasn't in there, that I had jumped out the window or something. And then she was like, hey, I'm sorry. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should like actually try to talk to her. Maybe she won't kick me out of the house. And yeah, because like I realized then that the whole like April Fool's thing wasn't going to work because I'd reacted like that. So it clearly like wasn't a joke or like a prank. And yeah, so I unlocked the door and I let my mom in, and then she was like, I'm so sorry for like what I said to you earlier. I didn't mean any of that. I was just shocked. And you know that I love you and I'll always love you, and basically all the same stuff that my dad said. And that turned out well. And then there was kind of a second coming out when I decided that I wanted to play with makeup and do drag and stuff like that. But they knew that I was like really into RuPaul's Drag Race and drag queens in general, so that wasn't too surprising for them. They were just like, a drag king, I've never heard of that. And I explained it to them, and yeah, there's not much to that story. But yeah. So that's my life, and I'll see you later.